Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Misty Mountain Streaming. I'm the D&D-Wannabe, my name is Rob, and we're going to try this again, because it didn't work a minute ago. My apologies, I know it looks the same to you, but things have changed in the room, there's a storm outside, something may have gone squiffy. In fact, I see now one of my posters is missing, so I'm going to fix that in a second here. Anyway, welcome back to Miskatonic Misadventure on Misty Mountain Mondays. I fit as many M's into that sentence as I possibly could. We're playing Cthulhu tonight, and Brian is back. Welcome back from MegaCon,
Woo!
Brian. How was
Thank you.
the show?
It was really good. It was a nice busy show with a lot of interesting costumes and dice, including my brand new set of eyeball dice.
Ah, nice.
I don't know how well you can see those, but they have the elongated pupil that are always staring at you.
So the weird thing about those dice is the eyes are always facing up, so when you're looking down to see what you rolled, they're always looking at you. When you're showing them off on camera, it's facing
Exactly. It just looks like a black
the
blob.
incorrect direction, but they are very awesome to meet in person, those dice. I have a couple of announcements to make, and we have players to introduce. Glad to have you back, buddy. Real quick, thank yous to Dead Pirate Brandon, who gave us a shout out. Thank you to Hatter HRG, to Minnesota Fats, to Pure Gold Goose, to Exquisite Grim, to Daglocksmith, and Simply Simone and Blue Chicken Gaming for following the channel. Appreciate all you guys. Welcome to Misty Mountain Streaming. This is our channel where we like to tell and experience great stories. Our favorite way to do that is through tabletop role-playing games like Pulp Cthulhu tonight. Also, thank you to the Existential Nerd who resubscribed for his 18th month, to TL Holdren who gave out a handful of gifted subs to new followers. Thank you for that, buddy. To Sally Quinn Creations, and to Leo Yeager who resubscribed for his 20th month. There are few who have supported us as staunchly and as long as good old Daniel, who is in the chat right now. Hey, buddy, glad you are here. I'm going to put up a poster real quick while we reintroduce our cast to everyone. And you can go ahead and buy me a little extra time by reminding people what characters you're playing. And I'll start with Brian today.
Woohoo! My name's Brian Henry. I've been playing games for way too long. What is it, like 45 years now? And funny thing is, I picked up Cthulhu in the 80s and yet never played it until now. My character's name is Brad Xavier. He's an ex-student at Miskatonic University. When the funds ran out and he kind of flunked out from reading too much material that had nothing to do with his classes, he became a boxer because it was the Depression time and there wasn't much else to make money. And that kind of destroyed a little bit of his face. But since then, he's kind of started wandering and looking for answers to questions that he's been picking up through his reading over the years.
Excellent. Mike.
Hey guys, I am Mike, or Uncle Mike, or sometimes Diggy. I love these games, love to play Cthulhu. My normal gaming group is afraid of it, so I'm glad I get to come here and play with these guys. My character is Travis Cole. He is 52 years old, 6'6", because that's what I rolled when I rolled him up. He actually was an NPC in the Call of Cthulhu stream that we did before this, and since my primary character decided to leave with the Cthulhu mythos aliens, I picked up his valet, his butler, his bodyguard named Travis Cole, and turned him into my player character. He has spent the last 10 years since the first game getting more and more interested in these sort of X-Files shenanigans that he knows are right on the edge of his perception, and has become a federal agent who investigates these kinds of goings-on specifically.
Wonderful. Very excited to see what Travis gets up to, as well as Katie's character. Hi, Katie.
Hello. I'm Katie, also known as Ominous Watermelon on the Twitch internet part. Also known as Silverpen in a couple other spots. I do digital character art for D&D characters. I also stream video games. I also play a lot of video games and take a lot of naps. And I've been playing tabletop games for a really long time. I'm playing Hannah Cooper, which has recently been revealed to be a new identity given to my old Call of Cthulhu character, Ellie, who has resurfaced 10 years later. For what purpose, we don't know yet. But yeah.
Awesome, and I am playing nobody in particular. I'm realizing that, well, you know, if for any reason you're here and haven't met me before, my name is Rob. I've been playing D&D mostly for several years. I work for Misty Mountain Gaming, the company that supports this channel, and supplies us all with dice now and again when we give them money in exchange for goods and services, like you do. I'm realizing that I have the least experience with role-playing games of anyone here. That is not often the case at tables I play at.
Switchick, you recruited a bunch of, veterans.
Yeah, play with people that are better than me. I guess that's the philosophy here. Holdren is in the chat, so is Majestic Biscuit. How are you guys? Let me go ahead and get a couple of announcements out of the way. The first one, and the most unusual perhaps, my sister-in-law is pregnant and is heading to the hospital right now. Not necessarily for labor stuff, but that may also happen. If my phone rings at any point tonight, the stream will end. Text messages, Facebook messages, everybody knows I'm not answering those. If my phone rings, well, I'll see you next week, and I love you. Other than that, there's also kind of a lot of storms going on in the state that three of us live in, and this stream may be ended by Mother Nature at any point, just depending on how things go. I think it already tried to stop us once, so well, we're pressing on regardless. Another thing to remind everybody before we get into a little bit of a recap and see where we left everyone is that this is a horror game. This is Call of Cthulhu. This is not D&D. This is the only stream on this channel that is marked with the 18+ code down there at the bottom. We are all adults. We have agreed to experience together some things that we are comfortable with that may make other people uncomfortable, and advise you all to view at your own discretion. Any other announcements before we get into recap and what's been going on? All right. No one says yes, so. Oh, wait.
Sorry, I was
Holdren
responding to
something?
people who actually remember Ellie's hang-ups from 10 years ago from the last game, wondering if they have yet to be cured.
Right?
We cannot, I think, credit anyone with paying better attention to our game than Holdren. Holdren may be better qualified to run this stream than me.
Hey, as somebody who's been a DM for going on 40 years, I'll tell you, there's nothing you like better than somebody who's paying attention. It's like all you want when you're running a game.
It is
Great.
Excellent. Thank you for being here, buddy. All right. Well, let's give him something to pay attention to, shall we? So, our three intrepid heroes to whom you have been introduced are on the trail of a stolen Omeus Wormius translation of the Necronomicon, the genuine article that was secretly kept behind the guise of a false article in the Orne Library at Miskatonic University by Henry Armitage and company. It being stolen, and inexplicable things happening to the three of you, you are somewhat invested and involved in recovering it, either out of a sense of personal self-interest or the greater good, as the case may be. Hannah and Travis, I'm not completely recapping last session, just so we'll preserve a little bit of the mystery for Brian, who I assume hasn't gone back and watched last session because he's been busy. So we're not going to give anything away for Brian, so we won't say quite everything. However, Travis and Hannah found themselves at a place called the Boathouse, which is a small tavern underneath a bridge over the Miskatonic River, with a dock and very little street access, where a few Irish patrons are kind of shutting down for the night. Travis slipped them a few bucks to get a few drinks, made a few implications that they might know this or that, or have this or that, or information. Wound up perhaps overplaying their hand and arousing the suspicion of the people inside, and nearly getting Hannah stabbed, which didn't work out very well for the stabber. Made some threats as to the likelihood of the demise of Hannah and Travis in the very near future at the hands of the O'Malley gang, before retreating inside where Travis promptly tackled him. Let's see. I think Hannah was trying to broker peace.
She successfully brokered peace, actually, and then I tackled it.
We will need to pick up, I think, basically in that moment. We were in initiative when we left. But before we get started back on all of that, all of the players have an opportunity to increase their luck from the last time at the beginning of every session, as often as I remember it.
We won't let you forget, don't worry. Because I used a ton last time.
Same.
So if you roll above your luck or below your luck is the question.
You get a little
Mine is
lucky.
higher than my luck easily.
And you go above your initial luck?
Yeah, you can go to 99.
Go to 99. Okay, that's what I thought. I just needed a reminder.
So did you roll above or below your luck, Brian?
I am below my luck.
So you get 1d10 plus 5 more luck to a maximum of 99. And
I got
Ellie,
a big 1
Hannah?
plus 5.
I rolled a 95. I'm really glad I got that out of the way.
Yeah.
Right now.
So you get 2d10 plus 10 luck. 2d10 plus 10. And I rolled above mine, and because Travis is lucky, he gets 3d10 plus 10.
As in real life, the less you lose, the less you use your luck, the more you bank for a different day. Let's pretend that's how
despite my bad rolls, I have quite a bit of luck stored up at the moment.
There you go.
We'll see.
Rob allowed me to use a huge chunk of mine, basically half of it at the end of the last game, to make my sword a little bit more appropriately sized for my size.
Essentially, Rob can't stand the idea of swords not being cool and effective weapons because he's been playing D&D for almost a decade.
I prefer two-handed swords as well. All right.
Mine's hidden in a cane, so I guess they thought it was a letter opener.
You wouldn't deprive an old man of his walking stick.
Exactly. Very good. I'd get you experience in my game.
All right, so to paint the scene, it is a small bar room that seems to have one other entrance or exit besides the one that you just came through, leading out towards the river, which is a door behind the bar, going to a back room. You saw the bartender, Kelly Murphy, go back there at some point and then return, although I don't know that you ever picked up her name, but there you have it now. There is one booth set off to the side that seems conspicuously to be the only booth. So certainly for some people of convinced of their own self-importance, most likely. Then a few bar stools and shorter tables, one of which has been knocked over by the process of tackling the young man with the pocket knife who had been formerly whittling on a Madonna. There's an old man who is smoking and sweeping, who is still, by the way, smoking and sweeping, almost completely unconcerned with the rest of the events in the tap room. There's Kelly, who is watching with vested interest what happens to the young man on the floor, and then a recognizable face has just lifted his face drunkenly from the bar top, almost peeling it off from the puddle of his own drool that he was resting in. And it's a face you recognize from having stared through the glasses, or the glass from the glasses, who you learn the magic word for and allows you to see backwards in time. Potentially forwards as well. I guess we've only really tried backwards, haven't we? the face of Dara O'Malley. Dara blinks hard, his face just agonized by acne, trying to make sense of everything that he's seeing in the half-light of the tap room. What are Hannah and Travis doing? We'll get into initiative if we need to be into initiative, if y'all believe that we still are.
Go ahead. Katie, go ahead.
Well, okay, I was gonna say, so I think the last thing that I did was I purposefully left the bat outside that I used to clobber the kid that is now on the ground, being held by Travis. I also came in here wielding a gun, and it was the threat of that that got Kelly behind the bar to not immediately shoot us with what I assume is probably a shotgun.
Her hands are up and visible to you right now. For what it's worth,
Right,
and
right.
empty.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Hannah doesn't want us to go that direction, but I also recognize that stopping Travis is not necessarily super easy. So I'm kind of
and the
looking at
last
Travis.
thing I was going to point out is the last thing we heard was Dara's name and saw his face.
Yeah,
which
right.
Travis clearly reacted to. Travis, you're picking up, if you didn't already know it, he sees things as pretty much black or white.
Mhm.
If you're either with me or you're against me, and these guys aren't with me.
Mhm.
So,
right.
So the trouble may not be over.
Mm-hmm.
I
would be remiss to leave a literal blood trail, which murdering all these people might do. However, it might be worse if we leave them alive.
I think it's unfortunate that this young man somehow didn't go unconscious when he was hit in the head with a baseball bat. I think it was really, really sad for him that he made that roll.
Yeah.
Because his life would be so much better if he was just unconscious.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to see, is it Dara? D-A-R-A? Am I pronouncing it right?
Yep.
Okay. I think I'm going to see Dara. I've got my hands around this kid's, on his shoulders. And I'm going to say, look, lady, speaking to the bartender, this kid just told me that he'd hunt me down. Your whole family would be hunting me down and killing me. So I don't think we're done yet. And I need to talk to the dude at the bar. So however it goes from here, my next move, if we had continued before, was I was just going to elbow the nearly dead kid under me in the back of the head and see if that didn't knock him unconscious.
You might be in a position to just squeeze him just a little
bit. Yeah, look, Travis isn't... If Travis wanted to kill anybody, there'd be a shotgun in his hand.
Well, yeah, you could just remove his consciousness.
Yeah, that's my intention. But, he's not... I'm not some kung fu master. I don't know how to... I'm not, I figure you keep hitting somebody in the head long enough, they will stop moving.
That's what works for Brad.
Yeah. That's why I have the baseball bat, my lucky baseball bat that you threw in the river or whatever you did with it.
Not in the river.
Lawman doesn't know a chokehold.
Right, like a Fed can't choke somebody out.
I'm basically Fox Mulder, but a foot taller.
I was about to say, we never said he was a good Fed. He was...
Yeah, no.
He's an arm...
He only joined the...
Fair.
He joined the feds to get access to the files that they wouldn't give him access to otherwise.
Fair.
So you say what you say. Do you want to see if you can put the kid out? I say kid. He's probably early 20s.
Yeah, he's got his whole life ahead of him, is what you were trying to tell us last time. And that he just fell in love for the first time.
It's 3 days from retirement at a young age.
That's right. I think I'm just going to go ahead and see, why won't you go to sleep? And I'll just kind of pop him to see if me hitting him in the back of the head doesn't make the front of his head hit the floorboards. And somewhere in there, I feel like he should stop moving.
Go ahead and make a brawl for me. I'm gonna try
Which
to
I'm
dodge with a penalty die, I guess, because I'm kind of trapped.
Yeah, I would think at least with a penalty die. Or maybe just give me a bonus die. But
Tell you what, we'll do both. Why not?
okay, I like that. I intentionally made him not good at brawl just because I'm weird like that, guys. That brawl is like the super skill in this game, and because I enjoy being different, I am not great at it. I failed with advantage. I failed miserably. I rolled a 99 and a 79, so I will take the 79.
Let's see. I rolled a 3 and a 33, which is barely a normal success. Really.
So I missed basically. I'm like running my mouth or something probably.
Yeah, you're kind of fixated on Dara, and you go to hit him on the back of the head. He has just enough movement to like toss his head out of the way. You kind of cuff his ear, and the palm of your hand impacts the floor, smarts just a little bit. He's not able to use that opportunity to escape or move away. In response to what you say, Kelly says, I have no argument with anyone with a piece pointed at us, but as far as how you stand with the Murphys and O'Malleys, that's going to depend on what you do next, mister.
Do you want me to respond, or are we moving in?
You're welcome to.
I say, look, lady, I'm not the one that announced that your family would be coming after me. That seemed awfully personal and very specific. So it's not as though my actions have determined how this is going to go. This punk's actions have determined how this is going to go.
And do you think that punk speaks for the whole family, do you?
Well, that's what I'm waiting for you to tell me he doesn't.
As long as he can get up on his own 2 feet. I don't see that he does. If for any reason he becomes incapable of doing that, I'll speak for the whole family that I'll kill you myself. And she looks up to the woman holding the gun as she says that. Anna, how are you responding to this? And I will say, as you are doing this, the man with the broom just kind of sweeps past your line of fire as you are doing whatever you're about to do.
Brian, he's like 60 or something, which isn't that much older than me, frankly.
He hasn't aged gracefully.
He's grizzled. I wait like the awkward number of seconds until he's like out of my line of sight. Just kind of, I've got the gun kind of up, right? Like, the finger's not on the trigger, but safety's not on either. Well, I don't even know if it probably wouldn't have a safety. It's the 30s. Finger's not on the trigger. We'll just say that. I'm gonna kind of look at Travis and like lean a little bit closer. Could you just squeeze him just a little bit? Does he look like a danger right now?
I'd say if he can't get up, apparently we have problems with the old lady behind the bar.
Well, if he can't get up permanently. You know what? Actually, his name's Michael, isn't it?
It is.
Michael Murphy? Yeah. Are his hands, like, confined by Travis right now?
I don't think that much care was necessarily taken. I think you just stopped him running to tell everyone to come and kill him.
I imagined I basically had him pinned by his shoulders, which is going to make it difficult for him to do much with his hands.
Yeah.
Kelly, I'll look over towards the bartender. I think you're a lovely lady, and I really don't want you on my bad side, or any of my sides. That's not a good one. This kid, probably under the influence of a few drinks, did unfortunately try to stab me. And I don't take kindly to that either.
Seeing how he's the one that's bleeding, I think you came out on top.
Right. But intent matters. So let's have him hand over that knife he was going to stab somebody with and very calmly walk away from this situation. And maybe we can call it a truce.
Make a roll your persuade, please. Go for it. This seems
Unlikely.
this seems reasonable. Just a normal success.
The likelihood of this going well is still remarkably low.
Well, that's why you have luck.
I would argue that the fact that I'm sitting on this guy ought to make her amenable to the deal.
That's fair. Certainly making her unhappy, but she is kind of invested in this going well. You can have a bonus die as well.
Okay. Let's see.
You always got to argue for your bonus die, Katie. Always.
Fair.
You can always say no,
Yeah.
but you've got to come up with a reason for a bonus die every time you make a roll.
Right. Well, unfortunately, my first roll was a fail. The second one was worse. So
That's what I did on my brawl.
yeah, that is a fail to a level which I'm not going to spend my luck points to make it a success.
Do you want to try and push your roll?
Dun,
What
dun,
will
dun.
happen? What will happen if I do?
If you fail to convince her that this is basically that you are actually willing to let this go, because at the moment maybe she would like to believe you, but you're having real trouble convincing her that you're a reasonable person. So she's going to have to act in order to save the life of those dear to her, and it will probably devolve into violence.
That's win-win.
Violence,
Yes,
violence.
If you
I was
fail
like, I
without
thought there was going to be a bad outcome.
if you fail without pushing the roll, it may dissolve into violence.
Well, if it's gonna devolve into violence, I'd prefer to be the first one committing the violence. So I'm not gonna push.
Okay.
I'm gonna accept that failure.
Says,
We'll see what happens.
if we're going to be having a peaceful conversation, I'll take the knife away from the lad, but you're going to have to get rid of your piece. Then we can talk all like adults and friends.
Well,
Yeah. Aunt Kelly, what is going on? Who are these people, and why is that one so tall? Shh, Dara, the adults are talking. Okay.
wait, I've seen him now. Sorry. I thought. Never mind. I had a moment.
I'm ready for Brad to burst in through the roof, just spraying an Uzi.
Right. I'm gonna look at Travis for a second and be like, is that the same kid? Because
I say, well, that's the kid. That's why I said we need to talk to that kid. And I say, by the way, while we're talking about it, we need to talk to the kid. We just came here to try to make a deal for something that some guy named Sean probably wants, and your minion here got all rude. So don't act like we've done something wrong.
There's one person bleeding here, mate, and it's not you.
So it's our fault because we're more skilled than your thug?
Say, dude, don't play the innocent card here.
Is this child trying to claim that he didn't initiate a stabbing? I just avoided it.
He also showed a lady his junk while he was peeing.
That's true. That is quite inappropriate.
Jesus. Michael,
I'm not
that
sure they
hasn't
said
worked on
junk
any of the
in the
regulars. It's
40s.
not going to work on a bunch of strangers, neither.
This is
As this conversation is taking place,
I try to keep this 18 plus as often as possible.
Yep.
Behind the door, behind the bar, there are two gentlemen engaged in a game of cards. Or they had been. There seems to be some commotion in the tap room. And so one of them is listening at the door, trying to discover what might be going on and what might be the right time and method of intervening. Another is crossing the room and collecting a firearm, a Thompson submachine gun, from its place at the wall.
Can we see this?
No.
Yeah. This is a cutscene.
This is a cutscene.
Okay.
In this room, there's a rug over the floor and the table with the cards set upon it. One of the chairs is knocked over, thankfully quieter than the commotion outside. And then there's one other exit from this room. A door that leads to the dock, where that small boat is moored out of sight from the street. In that docking bay, two figures huddle closely, planning their own entrance into the scene. Brad and Alvin are outside of a door, plotting exactly how they would like to engage with the scene as they know it. So, Brad, could you tell us kind of a synopsis of what brought you to the Boathouse after you left the college with Alvin?
Alvin, that's Barlow, right?
Alvin Barlow, yes.
Okay.
As long as you don't call him Al, he's pretty much all right with pretty much anything else.
Alvin wanted to go and question the O'Malleys, which I was all gung-ho for. I've steadily found out I don't really like Alvin that much. He's a brand of crazy that is, for lack of a better term, dangerous. And I've seen this brand before, and yet I'm kind of committed now. So now sitting outside of the Boathouse, he's wanting to go charging in here. I'm seeing, now I can see the guy with this that's going for the submachine gun.
Let's say yes. Let's say there's a little, almost a porthole into this room from this dock. There's basically no way anyone could look through it, so it's
judging
an
from
indiscretion in the architecture in the room here.
Judging from Barlow's body language, is he planning on just bursting in, guns blazing? How is his? What can I tell from his demeanor?
Well, he has his sidearm prepared. He had collected that from the car before you guys went on your little adventure. You
I'm gonna
were
whisper
offered,
to him.
You were offered the same, by the way, if you were so interested.
Yeah.
He has a
No,
collection.
I took his. I took the revolver that he gave me. I'm assuming it was a revolver.
Yes, he thinks they're cooler than semi-automatic weapons, so he prefers revolver.
So I glance over at him. Does he look like he's itching to get in there? Like he's going to go charging in?
He's trying to pick his moment, but he is inclined to, after what you guys had discovered on your little trip, he's further convinced that Sean O'Malley must be behind the theft of the Necronomicon. He must have it, and he must pay for what he did.
So I look over at him, and I kind of nudge him, and I mouth the words, "Are you sure?"
Of course. Don't get these moral quibbles. These are bad men. We're doing a good thing. Really a service to all of Arkham.
There's no morality about it. Bullets hurt. And that gun he's got is a bit more powerful than that little pea shooter in your pocket.
Well, let's not give him a chance to use it then.
I sigh. Shrug. After you, then.
He stands up, adjusts his belt with his non-gun hand, rolls his shoulders, and goes to kick the door.
I step up to the door. I stay low, but I stay to the side of the door, and keep my hand on the revolver in my pocket. I want to see the reaction before I actually spin around and come in behind him.
We're going to see how good Alvin Barlow is at kicking it.
Oh,
Knowing my luck with dice, not great, but knowing his normal ability, better than average. So, all right, good for him. So, Alvin rears up and he puts boot to wood, and the door was bolted. And the force of his kick splinters the bolt away from the rest of the door. And you two are in the room. There's a loud crack and a thud as the door flings back and hits the far wall. The two people inside had no idea y'all were there. So one of them is listening at a door. One of them is like putting a drum on the machine gun as he's turning around bewildered to see what is going on. And we're going to have a little round of initiative just for you and Alvin before
Perfect.
anyone else gets to do anything. So in in Call of Cthulhu, when you enter combat, the people with the highest dexterity typically get to go first. We have been rolling for it just to add a little variance so the same people aren't going first and last every time. But between you and Alvin, I'm just going to say you're going before him, and you're both going before the O'Malleys here. And you don't have to worry about movement or anything. You can reach anywhere in the room in your turn.
Okay, so did Barlow stumble through the door after he cracked it open, or do I have to move around him?
He's taken a full, long stride in. You can scoot past him without any effort.
Okay, I'm going to step into the door, step just inside. I'm going to level my revolver at the guy with the submachine gun, and I'm going to hold an action. And if he turns on either one of us, I'm going to fire.
Okay.
And then other than that, I'm going to let Barlow say what he's going to say.
Let's, Mike, holding an action in Cthulhu is not something that I am familiar with. I know readying a weapon gives you a plus 100 to your next initiative.
I think it's plus 50, but yes. I mean, generally, this is just for you to adjudicate. Again, it's meant to be. He's got the drop on him.
Yeah.
So, I think you can just let it go as described.
All right.
And based on the fact that he doesn't have the drum in, I'm assuming if he does make an aggressive move, I can make that choice.
All right.
You could, again, since you're not using initiative, you could, if it really matters to you, if this guy's really dexterous or something, or, you could make it some sort of roll to see if somebody gets a gun up before the other or something like that. But it seems like you got basically a surprise round going on here with that door flying off the hinges. So I don't see how Brad could be disadvantaged here.
Well, if you were waiting to see what Alvin does or says, Alvin doesn't say anything. Alvin finishes that one long step into the room, levels a revolver, and squeezes the trigger.
He's notoriously incredibly racist, just remember, against the Irish.
He is not a fan, and a big fan of violence, and fancies himself. He's definitely an action hero in his own mind. So there's not really much the other fella can do but dodge. Well, oh my god. Mike, you continually help me with the rules. Does it have to be a 1 to be a impaling strike?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it just has to be an extreme. Just has to be extreme. A 1 does all kinds of other crazy stuff, but if it's an extreme and it's with a pistol, then you calculate maximum damage for the weapon and then roll the base weapon dice again. So like if it's a D10 plus 1, it would do 11 plus a D10.
Gotcha. I think it is a D10. I'm looking at that now.
That's what a 45 revolver is, a D10 plus 1. That's what most people have.
Yep, good.
That's what I've got.
Well, he rolled a 3. which is an extreme success for him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's called an impaling strike, and this is how you die instantly in the regular Cthulhu game.
So Alvin finishes that stride. He levels a revolver. He pulls the trigger like he's done it a dozen times before with just startling nonchalance. And the man's head explodes like a melon. Blood and brain matter splattering the wall behind him. Brad, have you seen a man die before?
No, I have not. So my eyes are going to go wide. I'm going to keep my gun leveled, and I'm just under my breath go, holy shit.
I think this is fairly low stakes sanity, but I think I am going to ask for a sanity roll.
I can do that.
This was just, even, you've spent your life in the ring, but this is cold-blooded, unannounced, wordless murdering a stranger.
Murder. Yeah, it's
Can I
murder.
use luck on sanity rolls?
You cannot,
Nope.
actually.
Because I just failed. I
Uh,
rolled a 96 on my 87 sanity.
96. Oh, man.
There's no degrees of failure with sanity. It's pass fail.
So your good news is you're only going to lose 1 point of sanity. This isn't facing the living
Okay.
dead or anything. The bad news is when you fail a roll and lose even 1 point of sanity, something happens. And
Yeah, kind of figured that.
that's something in your case. I think I'll be fairly gentle considering the circumstances. I think you just drop the gun.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It's at your feet. It's loaded, but it's not in your hand anymore. And you're going to take that action that you held is just going to
Gone.
evaporate.
I'm just
there's no one
stunned
to aim your
into,
gun at anymore. There's no gun. There's
Yeah.
no guy. With that, I'm going to say everyone in the tap room heard that.
I would assume so.
The crack of a 45
And
quite close behind you.
the melon-like explosion of a skull.
This is melon violence.
Oh God, I'm
It's like a Gallagher show.
trying to
in
work
there.
the word melancholy into this somewhere, and it's just not fitting.
Yeah, yeah. You don't get experience unless you actually pull it off. So.
Yep, that's true. Let's have everyone roll for initiative. So how we did this last week, Brad, is we're going to roll your dexterity, and we are going to judge by your level of success, extreme, hard, normal, and fail, how quickly you get to act. So if you are very dexterous, it is more likely that you are going to have an extreme success and go first, but at least there's an opportunity for the really slow guy to get to act first,
That would be Travis, the really slow, needs a cane guy.
All right,
No,
so
Travis.
everyone, please roll. I'm going to roll for the Murphys and the O'Malleys separately.
Travis failed with really a spectacular roll of failure.
Now, you can use luck on this. You can't push it.
Not
I
the
don't think.
least bit interested
Gotcha.
in doing that.
I succeeded, but just a normal success.
Okay. I have a hard success for the O'Malleys. And I have on the nose a regular success for the Murphys. And you said Travis failed. How did Brad do?
I succeeded, but just a normal success.
Okay. And what's your dexterity on a good day?
80.
80? All right, you are definitely going
Jeez.
before the Murphys.
Jeez.
How
I'm a 40.
how did it go for Hannah?
I also got a regular success.
And what's your dexterity?
90.
9. Oh my gosh.
Fast as
Basically-
fuck, boys.
It's like you guys just carry me from place to place.
It's like you're Herman Munster, and we're we're the smaller versions wandering around you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my defense is all my hit points.
All right. But still a regular success. So, the first person to act in initiative is actually Alvin again.
Oh God!
He has good dexterity and rolled very well.
And another target.
And
I was
he's
about to
got
say, there's
another
only
target.
about 3 more skulls for him to explode.
A few inches to the left, the gun hand moves. Back goes the hammer, fires again. All right, that is a regular success for him shooting this guy. Going to say, this guy, you always have the option to dive for cover. But that's really only when you're doing covering fire. Which is
No, you can dive for cover at any time as long as he's not at point blank range.
Oh.
If he's at point blank range with a handgun, he's number 1, he's got a bonus die. Number 2, you can't dive for cover.
He is definitely in point blank range. Everything in this room is point blank range for him.
Point blank only applies to small guns like that, not to long guns.
Gotcha. All right. Is a D10 plus what for the handguns you said, Mike?
D10 plus 2, I lied before, but I'm looking at it now.
All right. He moves over the gun. He doesn't manage to headshot this time. He catches the guy just below his right shoulder. Another report is heard by everyone in the building, and this guy, he takes more than half of his hit points in one shot, so that means he has to try and maintain consciousness, right?
That's right. He has to roll his con or less, or he goes unconscious.
He fails. Oh my god.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do if you're a
roll.
normal person who just got shot.
Yeah. He is a normal person who just got shot. And he crumples down to the floor, and Brad, you watch his eyes just kind of glaze over. And he's just staring into space. You see his chest kind of shakily rising and falling. The only reason you believe this man is not dead, and his still actively beating heart pumping blood out from his shoulder onto the rest of his ensemble. Alvin looks over to you and says, "Well, that went brilliantly. Now where's the blasted book?"
I'm going to remain in my stupor for just a moment, staring at Barlow. Barlow's still holding the gun, right?
Oh, yes.
All right.
He has 4 shots left, by the way.
And I'm going to slowly reach down and pick up my own gun, but I'm not putting it in my pocket. I'm going to hold on to it. And I'm just keeping Barlow in my vision. I was tempted to knock him out, but the fact that he's still holding his gun, and the fact that I failed that sanity check has me a little nervous, and I'm not quite ready to react the way I might normally react in this sort of circumstance. So I'm just going to continue to follow his lead at this point.
Gotcha. All right. We'll go from Alvin to the O'Malleys. One of them is dead. The other one is unconscious. So Hannah will be the next to interpret this information. You just heard 2 gunshots from behind the bar.
Okay. So, yikes. The gunshots did not enter this room, so I'm immediately going to assume this is some kind of infighting. A look at Kelly, I assume, would have her looking just as shocked as the rest of us.
She has, as soon as the gunshots happened, well, she hasn't really had a chance to react, but she, is trying to duck and cover.
Right. Do Dara or the old man look anything akin to a threat at the moment? I mean...
up to you to a certain extent. They don't appear to be armed, unless you
Okay.
count the broom.
No. I'm gonna run over to the door that leads into this room where shots are being fired and open it
Okay.
if I can.
You meet pretty much immediate resistance, like something is against the other side of that door.
I'll push.
Okay.
Can I use like a strength check?
Not necessary. You topple
Okay.
the body of the second shot O'Malley from his position slumped against the door where he was shot. And you enter the back room. You see the card table, you see the knocked over chair, you see the headless mobster and the shot man, and you see Alvin Barlow beginning to search the room, and Brad holding a gun in his hand, looking a little shaken.
Oh shit.
This is where it pays to be slow. I don't have to make decisions.
I'm just gonna close the door. No,
I can see you're busy.
I'll come back later.
never mind. You know what? I am actually gonna step into the room. I don't know if I can do all this on one turn. Can I step in and like close the door behind me?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna look at those two. Be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I just glance over at Barlow. I look back wide-eyed and just kind of shake my head and open my mouth like I'm going to say anything, but nothing, no words come out. I've just...
I do want to clarify, I said this in hopefully kind of a hushed tone. I don't want anyone on the other side of the door to directly hear that I'm acting familiar with the murderers. And or murderer and accomplice.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, just covering my bases here.
Is there anything that you would like to do from your new position?
Other than kind of asking Alvin what he thinks he's doing and keeping my gun out just in case they've gone rogue. No.
He indicates your gun with his gun. Ah! Brilliant, you made it! Same as you, searching for the blasted Necronomicon stolen by these godless heathens.
Fuck.
Please shut up. Please shut your face. Oh boy.
I think as you ponder
I'm trying to
how
gauge.
handle.
I'm trying to gauge
Yeah.
Hannah's reaction as to what she thinks of this whole situation.
I'm going into like risk assessment mode. Like, at this point, if anyone else in this building lives that's not in our little group, we are not only going to be in immense legal trouble, we will probably be in immense gang-related trouble as well, which is arguably worse.
Is Barlow had his back to me?
He's kind of side on to you. He turned to face Hannah when she came in. Let's move it to your turn, by the way, as Hannah is trying to make heads or tails of what is going on and what to do about it. How would you like to spend your turn?
I glance at Hannah. I look into Hannah's eye, and I kind of let my eyes drift towards Barlow, and then I look back at her with a look of, should I? And she gives me that look, so I am going to turn around and I'm going to clock Barlow right in the side of the head.
Ooh, boy. All right. He certainly wasn't expecting that from you. I will award you a bonus die.
Okay.
But he's yeah, Yeah, I don't think he has any prayer but to dodge. He wasn't ready to fight back.
And my second roll is going to be an 02.
Wow. All right, and you were doing...
And that's with a brawling skill of 80.
Gotcha. All right, so your fists don't do impaling strikes.
No.
Let's see, Mike, do you know this off the top of your head? I'm prepared to look it up.
What's the question?
What
I
happens
rolled
when
an
you extreme
02 on a
success
punch.
or a clobbering?
He
What
just
I'm
does max
looking-
damage. He does. It's
Okay.
the same. He just does max damage. Whatever. I get probably a D3 for his fist, and then whatever his damage bonus is. It's just maxed. I can point you to it if you're interested in the rule, because I keep a list of where the rules are. It's 103 of the core rule book.
Brilliant. There we are. Fist fights.
So it's bludgeoning damage, so it just does max. It's not an impale. If he had a knife, he hit him in the head with.
Awesome.
Also,
All right.
since it was a surprise, Barlow shouldn't have been able to dodge or anything anyway. So
Okay, fair enough.
it's just as well that he failed.
Yeah. All right. So what is damage for you there, Brad?
My brawl damage, it says 1d3 plus dB. I don't know what dB stands for.
Your damage bonus.
So look in the
Damage
bottom right
bonus,
of your
whereas-
character sheet. You should have
Okay,
the
so that's a
damage bonus.
1d4.
Okay.
So I have a 1d3 plus a 1d4. So if I'm doing max damage, then I'm doing 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. All right. Barlow is unusually tough by standards. He is far tougher than an O'Malley. He is closer to a pulp hero than your
Got it.
average person. But he really didn't see that coming. Just caught
Was it
him
enough
completely
of a
with his
shock
pants
that he
down.
dropped his gun?
You're gonna put him out. Maybe not for long.
Okay.
You suspect he's of sturdy stuff, but he
Okay.
is going to hit the floor like a sack of bricks.
And I immediately go down and grab his gun.
All right, you have 2 guns.
And I'm going to hold 2 guns on him with hands slightly shaking. I'm going to turn to Hannah and go, "This fucker is crazy."
Clearly. Listen, I don't feel like I have a lot of time to say this to you, but we're kind of in a sticky situation in the other room. And if that person on the floor, who is now ground beef, is named Sean, we may be in even worse of a situation. I don't know.
Do I know the name of the person on the floor? Did we gain enough information on our way over here to know who we were shooting? Or was Barlow just like, "Oh, Irish people, I'm going to start firing"?
He was like, "Irish mobsters, I'm going to start firing."
Got it.
I would say you were sitting at that door for a second. Why don't you make a listen roll to see if you might have caught a
Alrighty.
name? We'll do this retroactively.
Listen. That's going to be a 36. I'm going to use 16 luck points to make that a
Pull it
success.
down to a 20. All right.
Yep.
Let's see. They were having a little bit of an argument over the cards before they started hushing one another and making ready for something in the other room that you now see Hannah probably had something to do with. You caught that their names were...
Did the stream just go to a thank you screen?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, it did. It did.
The joys of using my Stream Deck is I bumped it with the Cthulhu book.
You were bragging how cool the stream deck was, and now you're just laying your
I'm
arm
not saying
on
it was cool. It just, I have it, and I feel like I'm
It was
obligated
useful,
to use
but
it.
So, good one.
It's super useful for adding and subtracting the luck that I haven't put on, and I haven't used it all this stream. You caught the names Patrick and Michael. Sorry, not Michael. Yeah, actually, you did hear the name Michael. You're not sure who it referred to. Brian, Patrick, and Michael were the names.
Okay. And I can't remember. Hannah, did you mention Sean?
Alvin's been talking Sean all the way over here.
Oh, Alvin's
I
been
don't know
talking
if Hannah
Sean.
did.
I said Sean just now, but that would be
Yeah,
the
that's
first
what I was
time
asking.
you've heard it from
Okay.
me. Yeah.
So I shake my head. No, Patrick. And I point to the one. Which one's got his head blown off? Is it Patrick or Brian?
That you're not sure.
You heard it through the door, so you don't know who.
I say because I go Patrick. I point to one just randomly, the guy who isn't headless, and then I point to the other. Pause for a second. I think that's Brian.
Okay. Well. Well, we've got a bit of a situation here.
In the front room, that situation is continuing to progress. When the girl with the gun leaves the room and goes into a back room that she absolutely shouldn't be in, Kelly dove under the bar as soon as she heard gunfire, and she reemerges holding a sawn-off shotgun.
Yep.
Which gets leveled immediately at you, Travis.
I knew it would.
And she doesn't, there's gunfire, there's killing going on. She doesn't seem very interested in talking this out with you. She is going to pull the trigger and try and blow your brains out to the best of her ability.
Alrighty, and I assume she's within a fifth of her dex in yards to me, which means I can't do anything about it.
Is Travis not quite literally holding Michael in between him and Kelly?
No, I'm laying on top of him, but she very well might shoot Michael too. Apparently she doesn't care about that.
I want to say, firing with a sawed-off shotgun is kind of the all of
it's
the
going to get out.
It's not going to be.
She seems comfortable.
Everything in the general area is going to get hit.
Let's see.
I have a 12 gauge on mine. It's not sawed off on my sheet, so I can answer questions about it if you're
I got it right here.
We've got luck for Travis in the chat.
Ah, nice.
That might come in handy
That might exactly.
All right.
That could be very timely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she can't close range with a.
Gosh. Let me consult my luck here. That was awful. Okay, so it's not a malfunction. Fortunately.
Malfunction on most shotguns is just 100.
It's just 100. So it's not that, but it is a terrible shot. It's a 98.
Dang. Well, that won't hit me.
It sure won't.
And yet Michael is in such close proximity.
Yeah. It's a really desperate shot. I guess she didn't hit anything in particular.
Is her skill under 50?
Hers is actually 50.
Okay. I don't know if it's 50 or less or under 50. I'm not sure how the rule works, so I guess we'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, in order to keep the game moving, I think I will say that you are unharmed as she just swings it up and pulls the trigger, trying to quickly resolve the situation.
I'm Jules and Vincent in Pulp Fiction. We're looking around. Even the kid even looks up at me, and I'm like, I don't know. That should have hit us. She's like 5 feet away.
Yeah, she's certainly within 5 yards, which is all that you can do with with a sawed-off shotgun. That was her attempt. So, and the report of the shotgun is going to be audible to everyone in the back room, by the way, as it moves on to the turn of one Travis Cole.
All right, well, I say, lady, I was going to talk a little more, but I guess we're just going to do this. And I stand up, and the shotgun appears from under my trench coat, and I aim it at her face and pull the trigger. One shot.
All right. So you're also in point blank. So there's nothing that she can do about it.
Well, there's no point blank. I saw it off. You can actually do something against it because it's basically a gun.
Yeah.
Against mine, I'm sorry, reverse that. You can treat a sawed-off like a revolver. So I could have dove out of the way. With mine,
It's going to be a more focused.
yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
So
I'm glad to have you along helping me remember this stuff because I have less time during the week than I always suspect I do to go over.
I usually read it 5 minutes before we start. But all right, so I'm actually pretty good with this. So not good at brawling. I'm really good at shooting old ladies with shotguns. I've
If it makes you feel
trained
better,
that.
she's not that old.
Oh, good. It does make me feel better. Oh, Lord. I certainly hit. I made a hard success.
I mean, instead
I'm
of
guessing
canceling
the cat didn't want to be held. Sorry,
He
take a chomp out of you.
He keeps coming up and bothering me
I
and
want
then
it to
getting
do its
angry.
like dead, stupid eyes look at the camera again. If you could say whatever command makes it do that. It's perfect.
It's pretty much, yeah.
That's an evil look.
All right, so she would have to make an extreme success to dodge. Is that right?
That's right.
That is. I mean, I'm going to give her every chance to live here, but that seems.
Well,
unlikely.
you can't usually dodge firearms at all.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
you
I'm
can't
so
dodge
programmed for
firearms.
melee.
Yeah.
This isn't the Matrix.
Oh well. So she's situated behind the bar. I think there might have been some difficulty in shooting her that way, but you made a hard success, so.
I mean, if you want to call it difficult, I'm fine to roll again.
No, I think
that would be reasonable. I think
you've
what
done
you could do
that you needed to
you
do.
could shave off some of the damage because of the bar if you want to. But
I doubt it'll help her.
So am I within 10 yards of her?
Absolutely. I mean, this whole room is within 10 yards of her.
Then she's going to get 4d6.
Ouch.
Yeah. If you don't like shotguns up close, don't usually turn out well for people.
See, she was planning on you taking 4d6, so all is fair in love and war.
She takes 13. No, 3, 2, 4, and 4. 5 and 8. 13 points of damage.
13 points. She had 12. Where do you aim? How does this go?
I'm going to use the chart because it's fun to see where it hits. There's a little chart for body strikes. So let's just let.
Oh, Mike froze for me.
Yeah, he's frozen for me as well.
He's enjoying the same weather that we are. There we are.
Oh, so he's probably
a
little bit.
All right, I don't know what the last thing you heard was, but I rolled randomly on the chart. I hit her right in the chest. I'm going to say I put a hole, just a perfect hole in her sternum. And then through it, I go, Hannah, are you okay in there?
Oh, man.
Uh-huh.
And I still have one shell in the shotgun.
All right. See, I kind of passed.
Oh, I had a success at firearms. I get to check a box.
Very nice. Yes. Please do be checking boxes as you succeed in things, guys. Whether it's listening or brawling or.
Just remember, if you use luck, you don't get to check it.
Right.
Got it.
All right. Well, that particular situation resolved. The only armed person standing that isn't one of you guys or didn't come in with you is the kid with the knife, and standing is not exactly what he's doing right now. Travis, you do that, and you see the old man look at you, look at the woman. Shite. He takes the broom and starts walking towards the back of the bar. Back to Alvin. Alvin's unconscious. We're going to remain in initiative for a second. Hannah and Brad, you two are together in the back room.
So there's nobody else other than Barlow here, right?
Yeah, you've got 2 guns trained on the unconscious form of Alvin Barlow, and you hear a couple of shotgun shells in the adjacent room.
Yeah, Travis yelled out
like
right after it, so I'm assuming Travis is okay. This is a bar next to a dock. I would like to look around and see if there is rope
Okay.
anywhere
Sure.
while I'm in here.
Go ahead and roll your spot hidden, and let me know how well you succeed.
Okay. I succeed regularly.
Succeed regularly. Yes, in fact, there is what looks like a mooring rope hung on a peg next to the door that you didn't come through.
Okay.
Yeah, there was really not a lot of need to roll for that. Just wanted to know if you saw anything else.
Right. Yeah, my current goal is to take that rope and go tie up the drunk kid named Dara before he gets some shotgun holes in his body.
That is pretty fair. He is just bewildered. He's losing sanity points right now, as far as Travis can tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as she walks out, I look at, what about him?
He's
Pointing
your
down to
problem.
Barlow.
That is your problem. You walked in here with him. You deal with him.
I shrug. I'm going to get down on one knee, and with the butt of the pistol, I'm going to clock him in the head 2 more times to make sure he doesn't get up.
Oh gosh. All right. Are you being careful not to kill the man?
I'm avoiding his temple.
Okay. I mean, damage can kill him too if you're doing 7
I just
more
don't want
damage
him
to a
getting
couple
back. I
times.
just don't want him getting back up. And I've hit enough people where I know he's going to come to pretty quickly.
Okay.
Actually, no. You know what? I won't use the gun.
Okay.
I'll put the gun in. I'll hold him down, and I go bam, bam, and just hit him 2 more times with my fist,
Alrighty.
giving him the Pulp Fiction line. That's pride, fucking with you. All right.
So Hannah, you walk out
Yeah.
of the main room. You see a very dead Kelly Murphy.
Yeah.
You see an old man putting a cigarette back in his lips as he starts brushing up bits of her. Travis with a shotgun and a kid with a knife on the floor, and Dara just looking, just literally pissing himself, sitting on the bar stool.
I kind of expected this. And I imagine by the line of work I've chosen, I doubt this is the first time I've seen someone dead, nor will it be the last. So I'm just going to put that to the side. Just catalog that for later. I want to go up to Dara and tie him up. I want to tie his wrists and his ankles.
All right. He's going to resist that. So
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to make a combat maneuver against him.
Could I argue a bonus die, considering the fact that he's lost a bunch of sanity and is so drunk he was previously unconscious?
Watching your aunt get shot has a startlingly sobering effect. He's not resisting you like a trained professional. But you're not just trying to hold him or anything. You're trying to tie him up, and he's pretty capable of resisting that. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna deny the bonus die.
Okay.
You've got plenty of luck to spend if you want to get your way, though.
That's true. Okay, what am I rolling? I'm sorry, what did you say?
It's a combat maneuver, so it's just your brawl.
Okay.
It's a really good catch-all to be good at. If you want to do things like this. You're just gonna need to control him.
Okay, well, I rolled a 15. So that would be a regular success in brawl.
Okay. He failed with a very nice 69. So you managed to grab a hold of a wrist and put a rope around it before he really knows what's happening, and just methodically starting to rope the boy. That, I think, is going to be what Hannah and Brad have done with their turns. What happened to your gun, by the way? Anna.
My gun?
Yeah, you're not tying up a guy and holding him and holding a gun.
I've got like a little holster around one leg.
All right, so you put it away.
Pop it back in there, yeah.
Okay.
It's like right by one of my hands in case it has to come back out, but it's in a holster.
All right.
Oh, you picked up some luck in the chat as well for future reference.
Nice.
Ooh,
Boop. Did it work? Nope. Boop. There it is.
nice.
Thank you for that, Brian. Travis, it's continuing to be a very lucky, unlucky day for you. The kid with the knife is clearly not good at threat assessment. And is definitely not thinking with his head on straight. He thinks that he's acting out of vengeance here. He is going to try and put a hole in you rather than try and be reasonable. So he's going to rise up onto his knees and try and drive that knife into your ribcage.
It's going to be one of those things where am I aware that this is happening?
Yeah.
Do I perceive it?
He's like scrambling and trying to regain his feet. So you can react.
I don't know if fighting back includes the opportunity to just shoot him in the top of the head with a shotgun. Because I'd be way better at that than hitting him with the butt of it. I don't honestly know, so I can look real quick on fighting back, but
I think I know where that would be.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I think if defender, blah, 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 with their own fighting skill, I think the only rule is I can't impale him. I think I can do it. I just can't get an impale. Yeah, because it specifically says that you can't get an impale when you're fighting back with a firearm. So obviously you can fight back with a firearm. Does that make sense?
Yep.
That's page 103 again.
And the things that
basically
I thought
everything's
might apply don't apply because you're in the melee. You're not shooting into the melee. You're in the melee. So,
I actually do. I do think the lady behind the bar probably could have dove out of the way. By the way, now that I've looked at the rules, so sorry about that.
It's all right. We're all learning the game.
So yes, if I perceive that he is coming, I just turn the shotgun up, aim the butt at the ceiling, and pull the trigger.
All right. Let's see who gets their attack off, better or first. So he is going to get...
I've got to beat his level of success to win.
So he would have failed, but you know what? I'm going to spend that 50 luck. Because I can only spend it at once, and I can get that back later. And I'm going to turn his 61 into an 11, which is a hard success for him.
Okay, I rolled a normal success, so for me to beat him, I would have to get to an extreme success, which would mean spending 38 luck. So I'll just let him stab me. I mean, the kid worked for it. You spent your 50 luck. I'll let him.
You do have that 10 extra.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, hell, he said it was a pocket knife a minute ago. Yeah. I mean, it's going to do a D2 or something. It's going to be one of those things that I'll like swat out of me like a wasp sting. Unless the guy's got a killer damage bonus or something.
I wouldn't call it a killer damage bonus. It is going to be 2 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, I just look at him and shake my head. Just don't, kid. Just don't.
You shot Aunt Kelly.
Yes, I did. She shot at me first, though, to be fair.
Now, just because you failed the roll doesn't mean you failed to shoot the gun. That means your
my guns, yeah. Okay. Fortunately, I'm layered in weapons, but yes, you're right.
So I will say, as you turn this thing down and you pull the trigger, you notice something. There's light coming up from the floor.
Okay. That's great. That's good.
You
I
made
like
a little
that.
hole in it.
I made a little hole. That's nice. Okay.
That said, it's down to your turn, Travis. There's a kid with a pocket knife and a small hole, and a Hannah trying to tie up Dara, and no Brad, as far as you know.
I say, well, kid, the only people trying to defend you have left the room or left the world. I reach into my jacket and pull out the 45 and shake my hand and shoot him in the forehead.
Oh boy. All right. He is going to try and fight back. He's going to try and make a maneuver to take that gun from you.
Yeah, I was
He
about to say the
succeeds.
only maneuver he can do, because I just read the rules, the only maneuver he can do is disarm me. So
Yep.
he can knock the gun out of my hand. That's the only option he has if he doesn't want to dive for cover.
He's going to try and turn this into what he thinks is a fair fight. All right. Hey, look, my 50 luck came back. Thanks, Dabs.
I get a regular success.
He also gets a regular success, which means his maneuver fails. He fails to prevent you from doing what you were trying.
That is correct. And I will shoot him in the face with a 45. And he can have minimum damage, 3 points of damage. I must have just taken his earlobe off.
3 points, yeah. He just manages, he's trying to get the gun out of your hands, but really all he does is take the alignment out of your shot. You do succeed in doing 3 points of damage to him. He took 6 last week. So that puts him below. He has to take all that damage at once to worry about being knocked out, right?
Yeah, so yeah, I've got my little health sheet here, but it's just the damage he took this time. So that 2 was certainly less than half his max.
Yeah.
So unless it took him to 0, he's fine.
It did not take him to 0. He is not fine, but he is. He has got.
He can continue making really bad decisions.
He's having a really bad day.
Turns out, even though it doesn't bring him as close to death as a baseball bat to the side of the head does, being shot has really seemed to have made him reevaluate some decisions. You see that like rage that was in his eyes a second ago kind of go out. Maybe not enough to stop, because he's kind of in it now, but that was a bit sobering for him as he is points away.
I would have thought the
afterlife.
The little girl clocking him with a baseball bat would have made him reevaluate his life choices.
Made him reevaluate his masculinity, for sure. Then he had something to prove. Now he's... Ugh. Anyway. Alvin is still out. Brad, in the back room, you're knelt down and you're clocking Barlow in the back of the head with your knuckles.
I just hit him twice and then I want to search him.
Okay. Put a gun down to do it, I assume. At least one.
Into my pocket. I put one of the guns into my pocket and then search his pockets, make sure he doesn't have any more firearms.
All right.
Maybe he's got a pair of handcuffs.
As you're starting to pat the man down, you hear a creak and a thud from behind you.
I spin around, point my gun at whatever's caused it, because my nerves are shot at this point.
Yeah. Speaking of shot, there's a space underneath this room, it would appear. And there's a trap door partially hidden by the carpet in the floor that is now flung open, casting the carpet aside. And there's a man with a gun standing in that hole. And he's going to try to shoot you for standing over his buddy. Now,
I'm guessing I can't dodge. I think that was part of the conversation before.
Yeah, he's got a handgun, and you are pretty close to him. These are all pretty small rooms here.
Yeah, the way the rules work is if you know somebody's shooting at you, the only thing you can do is dive for cover, unless you're close enough to basically reach them. And if
Right.
you can reach them, you have the choice to try to disarm them.
Am I close enough to reach him?
No, he is
I
closer
didn't
to
think
the
so.
door than he's closer
Got
to the
it.
door you came in than the door you're standing beside here searching Alvin. As I continue to try and keep track of people in a fictional world in my head. Ah, there's my other dude. Alright. Oh, man. That is a
This is gonna hurt.
astonishing failure. But it's no fun to not hurt people, and I have all this luck. So I'm gonna
But you just used all your luck.
I did, and then it came back.
He just Dabs bought him some more. Now,
You
remind me, can I use luck on someone else's roll?
no.
No.
Oh,
However,
you can't. Okay, I can't alter somebody else's.
Explicitly says that you can't, but that you will
Got
want
it.
to.
what luck can be used to do is to instantaneously regain some hit points.
Oh.
For example, that's a Pulp Cthulhu thing. It has
Got
to
it.
occur immediately after you take damage. You can avoid certain death with luck. You can, if you have certain talents, which I think you may or may not have. you
Yeah,
can
I
reduce the
have one
damage.
of them.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see what.
I really should have shot multiple times. He's thinking one will. All right. Well, that wasn't a 10 on the D10, but it was a 9. So you're staring down 11 damage as this bullet comes ripping through the space towards you.
Okay. I have the tough guy feat,
All right.
so I'm going to use
Tell us
that.
about the
I'm going to
tough guy. Tell us in
spend.
the chat about the tough guy feat.
Okay, I am going to spend 10 luck to shrug off 5 points of damage.
Okay, is it always 10 or is it based on the damage or
Yeah.
how does it go?
It's always 10 luck to shrug off 5 points.
Okay. So you spend
So that means I'll be taking 6 points of damage.
and you will take 6. Now, as a pulp hero, that's nowhere near half your hit points, I assume.
Yeah.
For a point of order for the folks in the chat who haven't seen your character sheet, might be comparing this to our last campaign. How much health do you have?
I have 27 hit points.
Like that's like now you have 27, or you started with 27?
No. I started with 27. I now have 21.
Okay. All right, damn. All right, yeah, it's gonna take a little while to kill you guys. I gotta get more guys with guns.
Or just do more damage at once is what it comes down to. I will remind you guys to always make sure you have 30 luck. Never go below 30 luck, because 30 is it's the minimum you have to save your own life.
Makes sense.
So that bullet is just going to hit you kind of at the a little bit below your shoulder, aiming for your heart and didn't quite make it. And he like starts extricating himself and kind of looks down at the door in the floor and says, "Come on up, boys. There's just one of them."
Boys, plural.
I'm firing back.
All
You
right.
mentioned something about multiple shots. Can I take multiple shots at him?
So let's follow the initiative here, and we'll go to Hannah, and then we'll come
Okay.
back to you. And yes, the answer to
Got
that is
it.
yes. Hannah, sounds like they're not done shooting in the back out there as you're starting to tie Dara up.
It definitely sounds like they're not done shooting.
Alvin Barlow's probably dead. Well, Brad probably had enough of him.
You
He was
know,
the best shot in the group.
I think I have reasonable suspicion that Brad might not have done that. Especially knowing the state of Brad's face, I feel like he would be a bit more hands-on. So another gunshot is definitely going to raise some I need to go back in there alarms for me.
Okay. So
I'll finish off whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll finish off whatever knot I was working on tying up Dara.
All right. You have both his hands mastered now.
Okay. I'm gonna leave him like that.
Okay.
hoping that even the sobriety offered by shock is not enough to make him able to walk a straight line yet. And I'm gonna rush back into that room where Brad is.
All right.
Gun out.
I feel like you're trying to keep a lid on the violence and failing miserably.
This is like damage control, and
Yeah.
it's just not working. Yeah.
So you walk into a room with one man standing in it. Now you're walking into a room with two men standing in it. They both have guns. They're both pointed at one another. And only one of them is bleeding. And that's the one you recognize.
Okay. I am going to fire my gun
Okay.
at the other guy.
All right. Go right ahead. Best of luck to you.
Okay. So for this one, I do roll firearms, like the handgun, right?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
There's multiple firearm skill. Make sure you're using the one that's called handgun.
Yeah. Just making sure. That is an extreme success.
Awesome.
It's gonna do impaling damage if it hits.
Well, yeah, I rolled an 8, so that's a. It's
Well,
not
he's
a 1
not
or
close enough to
anything,
be
but-
batting guns away, so that'll hit him.
Okay.
So you do
It's a revolver.
whatever the weapon's max is, then you roll the dice associated with the max again. The gun again. Are you
Oh, so
using
you
a
have potential
45
for
like the
double
rest of
damage.
us?
I don't
think
think
so.
so. It's got to fit on her leg.
What's a?
Yeah, if it fits on her thigh, it's
Yeah.
probably.
I think we have a Derringer in here.
There's definitely a Derringer. There's also probably a
it's-
38 or a 22.
Let's see. They're
25
D6s,
Derringer.
those.
Yeah.
D6 plus nothing. So an impaling shot
Yep.
would do 6 plus a D6.
Hmm. And you have one
Okay.
shot in this, by the way, and you just used it. Until you reload. The weapon of a
Another
lady.
6.
12 damage to him. That is
Nice.
handily over his half. For everyone playing along at home, the gangsters are healthy, but somewhat inept. They've all got 13. So he's gonna try and see if he just doesn't fall back down the stairs he came up. And all I've got to do is succeed. I don't have to beat a damage threshold or any of that.
That's right.
D&D mess.
It's pass fail.
All right. Well, he goes down hard on his butt, but his eyes are wide open and the gun stays in his hand. As he's like, fuck, there are more of them. One's a lady. Let's.
Doing 12 with a one-shot Derringer
I
is
know,
insane.
that's pretty awesome. That's absolutely maximum damage.
Literally.
That would have killed.
We can thank our Misty Mountain Dragon dice for this roll today.
We're a little late for our break. Brad, let's go ahead and let you get your shots off and learn a little bit about how multi-attacks work in Call of Cthulhu. And then we'll have our little break here.
Before that.
Yeah.
Is he still, so he's in a stairway. He opened up a trap door.
Mm-hmm.
How far down the stairway is he?
He has extricated himself when he.
So he's in the room now.
Up, he took the shot and then he started climbing out to make way, presumably for other people to follow him.
I was thinking about.
He almost fell back down it.
Because if he fell backwards, I'm wondering if there is the possibility of me running up and slamming the trap door on him and knocking him back down the stairs with his fellow gangsters.
That sounds like such a fun idea. Let's do it. Let's make rolls and try and make that happen. All you really need to do is push a man with 1 hit point into a hole.
Perfect.
And then the rest will take care of itself.
The rest.
Man.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, so we need your expert brawlingness needs to come into play here again.
Got
he
it.
is he's going to just try and not be pushed. He doesn't care what happens to you in this instance, particularly.
Just out of curiosity, someone did get me. Dabs gave me spent 1,500 on luck. What does that entail? How much luck is that?
That means you have 10 luck in the corner of your screen here. Whenever you're watching the stream and you see the little elder sign in the corner, that is 10 luck that you can spend on anything that you can normally spend luck on. If you spend even one of that luck, all 10 of it goes
Then you
away.
spend it all.
So you should always spend all 10.
Perfect.
It's perfect for you and your tough guy thing, though.
It really is.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I run up. Now I'll make my brawling roll.
Oh, I rolled well.
And I rolled 19, which
I rolled 19.
is also pretty well.
That's
I
crazy.
feel like he's going to be a 19 is better for him than for you.
I really feel like a 19 is better for him.
19. So I'm just going to spend my own luck for this.
Okay.
I only need 3 luck to turn that into an extreme success.
I'm not even going to look it up then. There's no... He's single-digit extremes here. So, 3 luck, and...
3 luck.
No, wait, damn you! Push him back in. And...
It looked very 3D on camera.
I slam it down, and is there any kind of a latch?
Card
anything?
table there, and you can, like, drag it over. It doesn't lock from the top.
But there's no like latch or anything from the top.
They're not really worried about people coming up that aren't supposed to.
Got it. So yeah,
there might be a latch on the bottom, but
and I yell over to Hannah, anything we can bar this with, and I drag the table out and slam it down on top of the door.
All right, let's.
Looks like you found it.
Stop it right there. Let's refill some drinks. Let's use the bathroom. Let's come back.
Sounds good.
And see what we do with the 2 youngest and 1 eldest surviving people up top. And if we can literally keep a lid on the O'Malley's downstairs. So we'll be back. We're going to take, since we went a little bit longer, we'll take a little bit longer of a break. Everyone in chat, we'll be back at 5 till. So about a 10-minute break. And we will be back to see you guys and keep playing in a minute. See you soon. There we go. I figured we hadn't seen the logo enough tonight. some technical difficulties on my end as I reappropriate the stream deck into our plans. Welcome back, everybody, and thank you, Biscuit, for the welcome back. Sorry that we went a little over break time there, guys. I spent a little of it trying to catch up on the unfolding situation with my sister-in-law, and that is, I'm informed now, so on we press. We were talking a little bit about it during the break, behind switched off microphones, by the way. And I wanted to say, for the sake of everybody, we are very much still learning this game. I'll speak for myself. I'm certainly still learning this game, and it is quite different from ones that we've played before, and it is esoteric and arcane in its own ways, as I suppose is thematically appropriate. Mike knows the rules much better than I do, and we are all sort of muddling through it together, and we're going to get stuff wrong. We try and identify when we do get them wrong, because we want to be relatively appropriate to the rules for those of you who don't know the rules and might want to play this at your own tables. And I don't want you to get in trouble for following what we did on stream when you played at your home table and say, but Rob did it that way. And just have someone be able to rules lawyer you to death. But we intend to continue muddling through and catching ourselves when we are incorrect. For instance, I believe Mike checked during the break while I was off on the phone that you can dive for cover if someone is shooting at you, but it's harder if they're close to you, and you would incur a penalty die. So when that happens to the heroes, we will be doing it correctly. And Katie had a new toy that she was showing off during the break, and I said we should come back from break and share that with everybody. What do you have, Katie?
Oh yeah. I picked up a new book. It's very interesting. If you like cocktails and you like Lovecraft, you'll probably love Lovecraft cocktails.
Your camera is flipped, so we can't actually
I know,
read
the
it.
camera's flipped. You just trust me that that's what it says. Written by a guy named Mike Slater. You can buy it on the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society website or just on Amazon. If you want a deal, it's like 15% off right now or something like that if you have Amazon Prime. But it's really full of some really great art. Each cocktail...
Cthulhu juice.
Each cocktail within.
I'm not exaggerating. These are like my two favorite things.
Yeah.
Are Cthulhu and cocktails. Yes. So
it's,
I have to have it, and I'm ordering it right now.
It's great. It's really funny. It's really punny. Each cocktail has its own custom artwork done by a guy who specializes in these kinds of illustrations. And yeah, you can also, the same guy that does this that does this book writes a cookbook version of the Necronomicon. It's also available.
Ooh, very nice.
Could you
Sounds adventurous.
Find the page that tickled me so much so I can see the one from last night?
Yeah.
So she was telling me about this. I haven't seen the book, but she was telling me about this last night when I was gaming after work. And she found the Hell Residente, and I had to stop everything I was doing and just laugh at the Hell Residente. And I want to see that page if possible.
A lot of the names in here crack me up. My personal favorite is the root beer of all evil. Or the Necronomicon is also pretty good.
Yeah. Negroni, no. Okay. Yeah, apparently I'm going to have this tomorrow.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it ships really fast. I had mine a day after I ordered it. Yeah.
I want...
This is the Hell Residente.
Oh, that looks amazing.
That's awesome.
Can you tell us the ingredients just for fun's sake?
Yeah, so it's actually listed as the sin ingredients.
Of course it is.
You've got white rum, blue curacao, dry vermouth, Fireball cinnamon whiskey, Hellcat Maggie Irish whiskey, grenadine, and a slice of blood orange.
Yeah. Nope. Thanks. Though.
For me, you had me at Fireball. I'm all over that.
That's when you lost to me.
Very involved. Yeah, I could drink all of that with the vermouth, but maybe there's not much of the vermouth.
No. Awesome. It's got 3/4 ounce. You'll be fine.
Some of my 3 least favorite things to drink. I mean, and I will drink them if they're surrounded by other more pleasant things. Are vermouth, Aperol, and Campari.
Okay, all of those are in the front of my bar in the other room. All 3
That's
of them.
why I
several
reached to the
times.
back.
And it comes with a quote by Dante, just for theme. Yeah, excellent book. Highly recommend. It's not that expensive, even if you buy it full price.
You don't like a Manhattan?
I like a Manhattan.
It's loaded with vermouth.
The less vermouth in the Manhattan, the better, and then it just becomes a cold
Yeah,
glass
then
of
it's just
whiskey,
a glass of bourbon,
which
yeah.
I love.
The first drink in this book
at the
is
bottom.
right. The first drink in this book is Cthulhu Takes Manhattan.
I actually had my first Manhattan in Manhattan because I'm that weird, and I've loved them ever since.
When I had this has nothing to do with Cthulhu, but now I'm talking cocktails. When I was making Manhattans at the first bar that I worked at, the one guy that drank them like consistently would have me put vermouth in the glass, swirl the glass, like coat the inside of the glass, and then dump it out, and then craft the rest of the cocktail. And I thought that was about enough vermouth for me.
Yeah, you get the flavor that way.
Yeah.
It's very dry that way.
Yep, and we can thank Sassy Skittles 24 for showing this book to me.
Atta
by the
girl,
way.
Sassy. I don't know that she's here with us tonight. Let me see. I haven't actually looked.
I haven't seen
not
her,
tonight.
but shout out anyways.
Yeah, go.
I just ordered it off Amazon, guys. It was only like $14.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Tempting. All right, let's get back to Cthulhu and leave him taking Manhattan alone. So, we finished with what Brad and Hannah were up to. They put a lid on the situation in the back room of the tide of O'Malley's that was inevitably going to be swarming upon you. Out in the tap room, the old man is back behind the bar with his broom, sweeping up guts, seeming incredibly nonplussed by everything that's going on. What kind of life this guy must have led. Meanwhile,
it feels like a character in a John Wick movie. Yeah.
You're right at home in it. Michael Murphy, whose turn it is next to the initiative, seems to have reevaluated his chances of surviving this, and he's hearing guns going off. He's basically he's realizing that the tide of O'Malley's have not descended upon Travis to make him pay for everything that he's done, at least not yet. And Travis, you watch him drop the knife. He's not he doesn't I'm trying to make excuses for the kid. He drops the knife and runs for the front door.
Okay.
And if I guess you'll have a moment to react in just a moment, but he bolts for the door and flies through it, and you hear an audible splash.
Okay, that's funny. I was going to tell him to go jump in the river or die.
You read your mind.
You know,
Beat you to it.
he had just cooperated before.
Or
He would have
if
already
you
been
had
in
just
the water.
died and fallen into the river when he tried to stab you, this whole thing would have gone different.
You stepped on my moment to make him jump in the water. He did it anyway. That's great.
I'm sorry, Mike.
No.
Well, Travis, it is you and a partially tied up Dara and an old man in the room.
Yeah, so I mean, Travis is hearing gunplay and screaming, and Hannah keeps coming in and the fuck out of the room.
Might just be as well be a swinging door.
Revolving
and
door, yeah.
Just in a very sort of, I mean, like his little thighs bleeding from where this kid just stabbed him. And he just very methodically, I think this is probably all he can do with his round. He very methodically puts the 45 back in his holster He reaches down with each hand and picks up his cane and his shotgun that he dropped. And he starts making his way towards the back room. And I doubt that I can do much more than that. That seems like right up to the line of knitting a sweater. So you tell me how far I get. But I basically get my shit in order. I don't even try to reload the shotgun right now.
Okay. Just
because I had to drop my cane to use the shotgun. I had to drop the shotgun to use the revolver. So I'm getting all my shit back together.
okay. Well,
Still don't know where my lucky baseball bat is.
I'm sure Hannah's taking great care of it. So you scoop all this up and you start making your way. You see Dara with his hands tied up and a lot of rope attached to it, just kind of coiled on the floor. Just kind of looking at you, and he looks at the door.
I say, stay put, son. Stay put.
We'll go ahead and let you make a roll and have the opportunity to check something.
Okay.
I guess this is Persuade. Have you checked Persuade already in the previous days?
I seriously doubt it. I would like to have, because it is the thing I want to be good at. Yeah, let me try to persuade him. I say, man, you see what's going on here. Just stay on the floor.
Take a bonus die. He's partially tied up. He's impressionable, and there are people dying, and none of this is what he woke up to this morning. Take 2 bonus dice. I defy you to lose this roll.
All right, I'll do it. I feel like
That sounds like a challenge.
I'm looking at him knowing that he has lost more sanity today than in his whole life, because he put on those glasses.
Mm-hmm.
In all honesty, he's not really drunk and passed out. That's why I haven't been punishing him like Hannah has been wanting me to.
Mm-hmm.
He is just.
So I got an
ought
ought 2. I got an ought 2, so that's an extreme success thanks to your bonus dice.
Dang.
So yeah, I just tell him just stay put. We'll get to you when we're through killing everybody else.
Saving you for last.
He looks over, and with a voice that's cracking more than Rob is probably capable of, turns to the old man and says, Pappy Seamus, can you pour me something since I'm going to be sitting here, apparently? The man with the
I nod at him. I hold up my fingers and say, make it 2.
The old man, puts the cigarette back in his lips and leans the broom up and starts reaching for glasses. And as you're passing kind of out of the room, the old man kind of grumbles your way and says, all mixed up and more than they know what's good for them.
I say, old timer, we just came here to sell something. We're trying to make some money. Trying to figure out what's going on around here. And everything went to shit.
It all went shit before you all got here, I tell you that, son.
I say, I don't know if you're letting me have a conversation, but I say, do you know this Sean character that we're looking for?
That's my boy. Second
Your
oldest.
son.
Yep.
Well, he and this one, and I point at the one tied up on the floor, say, I think they know what went down at the university this evening, and we just want to find out.
Yep. Bad business. Bad business. He poured those 2 shots and he drinks them both. And then he goes to start pouring some more. And I think that's where we'll stop you. You can choose to stay or you can choose to go in and check on the friends.
The call I wanted to make before you make a call for me is that I'm gonna, when I get the opportunity, I'll open the door just to see what's going on in there. But I have no intention of letting Dara out of my sight.
Okay.
So they're gonna have to deal with their fight.
All right. You open the door and you see Brad is moving furniture and Hannah's dealing with an empty Derringer and Alvin
I didn't know
Barlow's on
Brad
the
was
floor.
here. I didn't know Brad was here, so I kind of nod at him. And Hannah's still ambulatory, and that's all I cared about.
Yeah. There's a body count in the room. for sure.
I say, guys, maybe you should start stabbing and punching because the cops are going to be here if we keep pulling triggers. And then I let the door close.
All right, let's.
I get blamed for this.
Hey, I just shot a shotgun. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying maybe we
Right?
should stop.
So things are going to be happening elsewhere, and I'm going to start keeping track of it. But we can leave initiative and all start simultaneously acting.
Okay.
Did I find anything in Barlow's pockets of interest?
Not before you were interrupted.
Before-
If you want to
Okay.
go back and resume that, or I don't know if you want to keep finding heavy things to put on, heavier than a card table.
If I feel like the trap door is secure, I want to go back and make a quick search of him.
You do not feel like the trapdoor is secure with a card table on top.
Okay, is there something else, any other heavy item I can put on there to secure it?
So there's looks like a large trunk. It's almost as big as you are up against the wall. You could probably drag it over, being a strapping young man such as you are.
Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and do that first then.
Okay, it is surprisingly heavy, and you look inside of it. It looks like there's literally an anchor inside, not a
Nice.
not a steamliner anchor, but one suited for the boat outside, as well as some more nautical equipment for the Miskatonic River and a fishing net and such as that. But a few good tugs and you scrape it over, and the trapdoor does kind of start to come up, and you run over and you slam your foot down on it, and then you go back and you start grabbing it. It takes a moment for this to progress, and then you go over and start frisking over Barlow. This will take you several seconds to complete all of these things.
Got it.
As you're patting the man down, I don't think a spot hidden roll is appropriate. Do you consider yourself quite thorough? If without checking his prison pocket, you're checking everywhere you might expect to find something.
Checking.
Wow.
No. All of the above,
I
Rob.
thought we had stopped all the sphincter discussion. I thought we were going to make it through there.
This is not the Beavis and Butthead full cavity search.
You go through one sphincter, you go through them all.
If anybody was playing sphincter bingo, that would be. You can mark the center square.
Come up with a new private goal for the campaign to call a sphincter
Everybody
by a different name.
Everybody drink.
As possible.
The question is, can we get through an episode without mentioning a sphincter?
That
was my point. I thought we're only like an hour away
we were
from
past
succeeding.
that.
So close. But you pat him down.
Yeah.
He had some extra ammunition for his gun. He has a Crocodile Dundee knife. He has his passport on him, and a fairly packed little wallet. Other than that, and a pocket watch, he's pretty empty. Well, and a pack of cigarettes. Hello to Playotic Games, who just rated us with 9 viewers, and thank you, Jeb Babushka,
Nice.
for giving us a follow. Hello, welcome to Pulp Cthulhu, Miskatonic Misadventure. We just killed some people.
Did they raid right when we were talking about sphincter?
No,
I think it was slightly
Just in time to see
Go
sphincter
back into
bingo.
D&D, there will be much sphincter talk. The Playotic Games guys had to teach me the word for telescoping, which totally applies to snakes and only to snakes. Periscoping. What's going on, Gump? I see you there. Suffice to say, I played Cthulhu on their channel, and it was raunchier than this, so...
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It was quite a feat.
Cthulhu juice everywhere.
Yes. So, for anyone just joining us, the Irish mob in Arkham, Massachusetts, has ostensibly made free with the Necronomicon, formerly from the Orne Library, and on behalf of Henry Armitage, these heroes, these investigators, are here looking for it, and a wannabe hero has come along and started shooting up people. So they decided to knock him out, but there's already a body count, and now they're just trying to keep a lid on this. All right, that basically catches you up. So those are the things that you find on his body, Brad.
I pocket everything he's got other than the cigarettes.
Okay, fair enough. While that is taking a little while, Hannah, what are you up to?
I am, speaking of cigarettes, going to have one at this point. And I feel like with the trunk being dragged over the trapdoor and everything else, Brad probably has this room under control. So I'm going to keep up my revolving door policy and go back into the other room and finish accosting Dara.
All right, you politely push Travis out of the way as he's standing in the door.
Oh, did Travis come in here? Yeah.
He's in the doorway checking on you.
I wasn't going to come all the way in because I was afraid Brad would use me as the thing heavy to put on top of the trapdoor.
But yes, Hannah, I'm sure he doesn't prevent you. You go on in.
Yeah.
The old man is there pouring shots of Irish whiskey.
If there's one on the counter that the old man hasn't drank yet, I will just snatch it.
Okay.
Drink it.
Dara says, "That was for him." Okay.
You can pour him another one.
No, I'm not allowed to pour.
He's also tied up.
Well, you're...
The old man looks, "You're not allowed to pour."
And as somebody in chat said, not the good kind of tied up.
Nah, I bet you that was Biscuit.
It was. Well, I'll like look at Seamus, or it said Seamus, right?
So, not that you've been introduced, but the old man is Seamus.
No,
yes.
Yeah. I'll look at the old man. Just be like, look, I'm gonna put the glass back down. Honestly, if they just stay full at this point, probably for the best. But I've got some things to talk to Dara about.
Take all that money that Travis gave Kelly. He takes it off of her bodice and puts it in his pocket, and then he keeps pouring.
Yeah, his nonchalance towards this is fascinating.
It's spectacular.
Yeah, but I'm gonna look at Dara, and I'm gonna pull out the piece of glass from my pocket.
Okay.
And I'm going to hold it up in front of him.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, I think you recognize this. And I'm going to need some information from you.
Looks like a broken bottle.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure that you understand by the very nature of how these things work, that I know for a fact that you know more than you're telling me right now. And I'm gonna look around at all the dead bodies now scattered across the earth. I guess the dead body in the room.
At your piece of glass that is about this big.
Yeah.
And just squints at it. How what things work exactly?
The glasses that this used to be attached to.
You broke your glasses?
I go, is he on the floor? Is he in a chair? Where's he at?
He has not left the chair he started the evening in.
I just go over and kind of put my hand on the back of his neck. And just gently. Just real gently. But I try to be every bit of 6'6" behind him.
He's puffed up.
And I just say, son, you went to Miskatonic University. You dressed up like a waiter. You put on some magic glasses and you stole a book. We want to know where the glasses came from and what you did with the book. And you need to answer quickly.
I'm going to ask one of you to make a persuasion roll, and I will give the one of you that makes it a bonus die. I think Travis has already succeeded. But
yeah, I was about to say, I was shooting for being intimidating there, even though I really am not intimidating.
Yeah,
but
there's unfortunately, there's there's a lot of skills in Cthulhu, but intimidating isn't one of them. But I think
Yeah, it is.
intimidating is it?
Yeah, intimidate's
Intimidate's
a
a
skill.
skill.
There's 4
yeah.
social
Not come
skills.
out.
There's
I'm
fast
sorry.
talk.
It's right under
Persuade.
history.
Is it not in the 1920s version? Is it just in Pulp?
No, it's in all of them. There's 4 social skills: charm, persuade, fast talk, intimidate.
Oh well, begging your pardon. For some reason, I missed
But
that.
Travis
I was
is
upset about how there wasn't an intimidating.
Travis is intentionally not intimidating, but I feel like he can't help but be intimidating
Yeah.
just because of the way God made him.
I feel like you're saying he's using his physical stature here.
Yeah.
So I think he is being intentionally intimidating.
But I
think
literally have not
Mike
put any
is having
points
him
in intimidating.
intentionally be intimidating.
Yeah,
Whether
yeah,
or not
Yeah,
Travis
yeah.
is intentionally being intimidating.
Travis more than likely isn't intimidating because he's not intimidating.
Right.
Well, I will permit you to roll your intimidation to try and get a checkpoint in it. Then I am blown away by that. How did I miss there being?
Any bonuses for having killed a room full of people?
Yeah, you can have a bonus die. You guys are working on him together.
And I will remind the players, always beg for bonus dice. The worst
Yeah.
he can do is just say no.
Mhm.
I'm not that inclined to do, it seems.
Which I just rolled all the wrong dice, so I'm going to start all over.
I rolled a D4, a D12, and a D8. Don't know what I was
Well,
thinking.
actually, I rolled 3 D100s.
Ah.
I rolled a 23, and with my bonus die, I got a 23. So even though I won't get a check mark for it, I am going to spend 8 luck to intimidate this person.
All right.
Actually, use my ethereal luck for that. Please.
Using ethereal luck. Thank you, chat. See, that
Thank
was
you, chat, for
afforded
making me
by-
succeed at being intimidation.
It's afforded by Dabs, community artist who has art over there off camera.
Awesome. Thank you, Dabs.
Dara's eyes kind of go wide. Oh, yes. Yes, I did that. Everything that you said, this very night I did those things.
Where did the glasses come from? What did you do with the book?
The glasses, Patrick, Brother Patrick gave them to me. He met someone at the back room and he handed them to me.
I'm gonna nod to Travis, be like, he's telling the truth about that.
Okay, he doesn't know. He's just the flunky.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Nice,
seen us
then.
before? And I point at, Hannah as I ask.
No, I don't think so.
You haven't.
Did I?
You didn't see us. You didn't see us at the party you were working at.
I wasn't really looking around. I knew what I had to do something, and I tried to keep my head down and get through it. It's kind of an initiation for me.
You weren't part of kidnapping or incapacitating some of the party guests.
Oh, mercy, no! It was a snatch and grab. It was a little B&E without the B.
Oh Lord. My last question, Hannah, and then you can take over, is
Mhm.
what'd you do with the book that you got from Armitage's office?
Gave it to Patrick. Patrick probably gave it to Sean.
Okay, that all checks out.
Hmm.
Mike assumes that Patrick's brains are splattered all over the wall in the other room, but Travis doesn't know that.
What? Brad told me the names that he heard, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. What were they again?
Brian and Patrick.
Brad.
I think they
yeah,
were
okay.
Patrick, Daniel, and Michael, actually.
Patrick,
Oh.
Michael, and Brian. Ironically,
Brian,
Brian
okay.
is the one we forget.
I wrote down Daniel for some reason.
Okay. Yeah, there's a high possibility that Patrick is no longer with us.
The
But
old
one of
man
them is alive.
grunts and pours himself another shot of whiskey.
I say, what's in the basement? And I kind of gesture to the hole I made in the floor.
Both of them answer at once, and the kid, Dara, says, Sean? And the old man almost drowns him out by grumbling, Rubble.
They're both telling the truth.
Wait, what did Dara say?
Sean, and the old man said trouble.
Ah, right, okay.
In the back room, Brad, you've had a moment for this conversation to be going on. You've patted him down. The heaviest thing in the room, for what it's worth, is on top of the trapdoor.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to do now?
I'm gonna head into the other room and join the others.
Okay. Your first time in the tap room, it's a really tiny tap room with blood on it now. And a small congregation of people talking almost too calmly around a bar that is a murder scene.
We're heroes.
Yay.
Look,
I glance around at the various
I'm not trying
brains
to go
and blood
self-defense.
splattered all over the place. I'm kind of numb to it at this point, and I look at Travis and Hannah and go, we need to go. This is not some place we still want to be.
Oh, no.
No.
We still have tons to figure out here, Brad. For all we know, the book is in the basement.
That book is probably here. And
at the mention of the book, I do perk up a little bit.
I bet that woman might be here too.
Say, look, I don't know how many people you've shot in the other room. I've heard a lot of activity, but there's a guy in the basement named Sean that we can't kill yet.
Yeah.
I kind of scrunch up, say, I didn't kill anybody.
Yeah, fine. Potato, per kilo, whatever.
Actually, wait.
Sorry, potato.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell Travis doesn't care who you've killed here. Doesn't care at all.
That guy you pushed into the basement is probably dead after that fall.
Right? It's a set of stairs. I mean, if you can't fall down a set of stairs and survive.
Yeah, then what are you doing hanging out in the basement of an Irish bar?
And someone probably max damaged a Derringer bullet into the side of you.
That would be crazy if
she
that's
did
what happened.
4 times more damage with that Derringer than I did with a shotgun at point blank range.
And actually, that's what I do. I look at her and I go, if he died falling down the stairs, I'm pretty sure it's the bullet you put in him that killed him.
Okay, well, we're not looking to blame.
Well.
But let's just not kill Sean yet. And I put my hands back on Dara's shoulders. This time I put my hands on both his shoulders instead of around his neck. And I say, and by the way, we have no intention of killing you. So there's a win. Or the old man. And I point without looking to the guy with the broom.
I take one more glance around the room, obviously not completely believing Travis's assertion to this fine young gentleman.
If we don't go basement now, we'll probably lose our chance to ever do so.
If I pick up at all on Brad's reaction, I just say, look, I've seen this before. He'll go crazy. Nobody's ever going to believe anything he says anyway.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look at the old man.
The old
behind
man
the
looks
bar.
to you, Brad, and nods.
Can I ask the old man? I just want to straight up ask him, like, what are the odds that cops are going to show up here soon? I mean, being what y'all are involved in, what are the odds that they care?
What indeed?
I don't think if there's a skill that you could use to know that.
I don't know.
Not really.
Yeah.
It'd just be a no roll, an education roll.
I think Brad, being the local, is probably the best informed on the local constabulary's habits.
Right.
What kind of roll would I make on that?
It would be a no roll. So if you go up to the top of your screen where your intelligence and education are, one of them is equivalent to a no roll. I'm pretty sure it's
That's
your
education.
So it would just be
That's right.
an education roll.
I'm
I might.
one of my
well,
stronger areas.
It's a well-educated pugilist.
I got a double O.
Ooh!
Oh.
So this isn't like Keeper asking for an idea roll where there's consequences to failing. You guys suggested this and you rolled it, and it's a no roll and not an ideal roll. So there's no like, I can't screw you for failing that one.
So I turn around.
But
When
you
I
got-
was here young,
You got that exactly backwards. When you suggest
Oh.
it, we're fine. When we suggest it, we're
Oh.
fucked.
Are you you're sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. I was pretty convinced of my position, but I believe you more than I believe me.
No, because the reason is being, if you suggest it, it's because you're sick of us being stalled and you're
Yeah.
trying to get us going again. So you can't punish us for that.
Got you. Okay. I can't punish you for being sick of you. I hate this game.
That's right.
Dab said needs sphincter things to add to bingo board. Dabs, I trust your personal creativity,
Yep.
man. If you're struggling with it tomorrow, hit me up on Discord. I'll see if
Everybody
I can
just
contribute.
type your sphincter-related ideas in chat.
This seems like a bad road to go down. I know this crew.
I wouldn't ask that of several people in chat, honestly.
Holdren loves Broom Guy. At least there's that. I got one lovable
There's one.
NPC still alive.
Broom Guy's pretty great.
when asked about the O'Malley's, I'm just going to shake my head and say, when I was here, I stayed in the university library all the time. I didn't come down here. I was told not to come down here. I was told it wasn't a good idea. I really don't know.
Just curious, is there anything I would be able to suppose based on previous experience, like working with the mob? I mean, a mob in a different city, but I don't know.
Like small town moonshine and mob.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a
This-
roll. Go ahead and make a no roll. Can I make hard no rolls, Mike? Is that a thing? Or is it
Sure.
pass
Sure.
fail? All right.
Anything can be anything.
It's a hard
Except
no roll, but I will give
Sanity
you,
and luck can't be degreed.
I will give you a
Mhm.
bonus die because you're familiar with the concept. But this is a different city, and this is clearly a different operation working on a different scale.
Yeah.
So, you can make it under those circumstances.
Yeah, I come from a criminal background, so hoping that'll be enough to carry me through.
Bonus
Okay.
die to a
Well,
hard success.
I rolled a 39. I would have needed a 30 to get a hard success.
That's almost
Can I?
10
You do
luck.
have some
I was
ethereal.
about to say,
You have
can
some
I
ethereal
can
luck
I
floating
luck
around.
point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. There you go.
Okay. I didn't know if I could luck point this one. So if I
Yes.
can,
Yep.
yes.
So your impression is if this were back home, you'd have cops on the payroll. And they would show up if you wanted them and not at all otherwise. Unless you had some real justice warriors on the force, and the
Yeah.
ones in your pocket could probably keep them under control. Here, your impression is this is a much smaller operation, but oddly kind of a much more dangerous bunch. Your impression is the cops probably don't like the O'Malleys, but aren't too keen on getting shot. So they're probably not in a hurry to come to where the O'Malleys are handling internal affairs. In their bar, right? Like,
Yeah.
they might be trying to keep civilians away if they're aware of it at all, but
It's like their turf. Yeah.
that's your impression. If you were involved in this outfit, that's how you imagine things would be playing out.
Makes sense.
They got families to go home to,
If there's ever trouble,
Right.
we'll play the federal investigation card, but
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather not.
Well, if there's no witnesses, you have to believe the story of the survivors.
That's what they said after the Excelsior. And I lose 10 sanity.
They don't have forensics yet. So we'll be fine. All right, look. I'm gonna look at Travis and at Brad. I think if the cops show up, they're not gonna be here till tomorrow at the earliest.
I'm okay with
This
that. I
is,
just don't think we ought to invite them by shooting guns over and over and over again when we're perfectly capable of killing people with our hands.
True. I think that while we're here, and possibly still have Sean downstairs, that we should be heading down there. See if they have our book.
Totally agree. I just go behind the bar and pour shots. Like, I do the thing where you just half the whiskey ends up on the bar, and I just fill like 7 shot glasses because I never got mine.
So, Travis, you start pouring the whiskey, and you're saucing the area, and hoping that most of it will land in glasses. It's a scene, and everyone's watching this little scene of Travis pouring, the whiskey out onto the countertop. You all watch as the whiskey that spills over the edges of the glasses kind of gathers into little puddles and slowly just lifts itself off the bar top.
Damn it.
Into little
They opened the book.
0G globules floating a few inches off the bar, slowly levitating to eye level. And you look, and the blood splattered over the bar back, starting to lift. And the rope that's attached to Dara's hands is beginning to lift off the ground. And so are the coattails of your jacket, Travis. In fact, one cigarette frees itself from the pack in your pocket.
Awesome. Okay. Nice touch.
It seems to be everything in the room that isn't nailed down or over a certain weight is starting to free, and you feel yourselves a little lighter. Travis, that little back pain that you've been having kind of frees up for a second.
It's awesome.
And the man with the broom behind the bar just looks at the floating whiskey. That ain't right.
Do you want to bet someone opened the book?
I'm thinking, ting, experience. I was just going to say shit like this. I look at the old man, I say, shit like this happens to me all the time.
I chose that moment to have a mouthful of whiskey.
I grab a shot and do it. I somewhere in all this conversation, I have put the.
You take the glass, you scoop it through.
Yeah, I'm like sucking it out of the air. Then,
Straw.
At some point in all of this,
kind of establishment.
At some point in all of this, I put 2 more shells in the shotgun and put it back in its harness. I say, well, I think you're right, Hannah. The book's probably here. And by the way, I look over at you, Brad, and I go, I'm sorry. And I stick my hand out to shake your hand. I go, glad you joined us.
I look down, shake hands, reach into my jacket for the big Dundee knife that I got off of, what's his name?
Alvin.
Are we going to go take a look or what?
I say, wow, that is a knife.
I hold it up.
Thank you. I was waiting for the opportunity. I appreciate that. I say, yeah, let's go look.
You said no more shooting.
Yeah. And I've got all the guns put away, and I've got the cane ready.
I'm also going to reload my gun.
I say,
only shoot once.
Hey, what happened to my baseball bat?
And go get the bat. That was the next sentence out of my mouth. I'm going to go get the bat.
All right, you walk to the door.
Front door.
You open the door.
Uh-huh.
And one would expect to see the Miskatonic River.
Huh.
And the dock right outside, the bat where you left it, the street across the way, the lamps in the night and the cloudy sky. You see that. But you're looking up instead of down. As you reach the door and turn the handle, almost with that turn, everything that was on the floor of this establishment goes to the ceiling of this establishment, including yourselves.
Fortunately, I'm incredibly dexterous.
That's a good thing, too.
I'm also incredibly dexterous, but not sarcastically.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure we got a
You guys
So-
both flip and land on your feet, and
chance
I
of
land
rolling
on
out
my
of this.
head.
But unfortunately, all the whiskey, the glasses, all go tumbling towards the new floor, which was formerly the ceiling. We'll make this simple. I'd just like a I'd like a dodge roll from everyone, please, because you're basically it's not a far drop. You've kind of not perfectly seen this coming per se, but it's really the tables and chairs and broken glass that is a concern here.
I've
There
got
we
a
go.
hard success on mine.
Hard success? No worries then.
Yeah.
Never put a point in it.
Katie's smiling. That means good things.
Yeah, it's an 83 against a 20.
Excellent. Hannah, we can't hear you. What's going on with Hannah?
Can't hear me at all?
Now I can
Can
hear
hear
you.
Oh, now you
now.
can.
Okay. I had a regular success.
Regular success. Okay. So Brad, Hannah, you're all right. You kind of keep your feet. Hannah, you kind of hang on to the doorknob, actually, as you kind of twist around and kind of have the opportunity to lower yourself to relative safety. As for Travis, you go tumbling down, and you get kind of pummeled a little bit by various little sundries from the bar, and a bar mat slaps you in the face, and it's a little damp. The real problem is you kind of twist the ankle on your bum leg as you try and find your footing here. We're just going to call that a measly... Well, I was going to be a d4 divided by 2, but I rolled a 4, so it's 2 points of damage, I'm afraid. I think that's equally as bad as a knife's wound for you.
Yeah, I mean, if I get hit in the head with a big wooden table or something, that makes sense.
Yeah. Just something comes down and hits you the wrong way when you're not, situated.
Yeah. You two are like Neo and Trinity tumbling through the room, and I just fall like a sack of potatoes.
Just
It
imagine
reminded
like
me
a
of
lump.
I don't know if you've seen the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie,
Mm-hmm.
where they're all traveling
I
to the
think
zero
we
G, and every every time Mantis lands, she lands on her head when everybody else lands
Yeah.
standing up.
Would Katie and Brian roll percentile for me again, please? Let's see how Dara and Seamus handled this.
I got a 27.
Okay.
I got a 2.
Okay. They seem to handle it better than Travis did. Dara collapses against the floor, but he's young and kind of bounces back. The old man just starts to lift off the ground and just reaches up to the bar and just kind of turns as the place turns with him and lowers himself to the ground.
Like this happens all
Like
the
this
time.
had happened to him last Tuesday. It's like,
Oh, not again.
fool me
Same
twice.
shit.
Shame on me. I'm a little amazed how well he's handling.
I feel like y'all were all moving in slow motion, and I moved at like double speed.
Let's see, real quick. All right.
I have not bothered to first aid any of my wounds. I need to stop at some point and do that.
I do
Dara.
have a decent first aid skill.
When Dara hits the ground and kind of bounces back, like physically, he does not mentally bounce back at all. He curls himself up into the fetal position. He clutches his knees and his piss-stained trousers, just kind of starts rocking back and forth on the ground, and starts mumbling incoherent Gaelic to himself and no one in particular. The old man looks down at him and is just shaking his head. Just repeats to himself, "Trouble."
Any sanity rolls?
See, I think this has to happen. That's what I was actually just rolling for them. I think it does need to happen for y'all. This is getting a progressively crazier and crazier day. I don't want to say you're getting numb to it, but this is far from the first thing. Let's do a sanity roll for everyone. I'm gonna marginalize the stakes here. It'll be a D3 of sanity for failure. And we'll just call it is it 0 or 1? If you're lucky enough to do it, I'll say it's 0 for this one.
I rolled a 94. 94. Don't have a 94 sanity.
No, unfortunately not. I don't think any of us do.
I'm good.
You're okay? All right.
Yeah,
Nothing.
I had a 71, but I got 86 sanity.
Compared to seeing the inside of a guy's head instantaneously revealed to you, being turned upside down is nothing new. That happened on the mat all the time. You know? Why it's happening, God only knows. How did Hannah do?
58, which is unfortunately not a pass. That is
All right.
a fail.
So if Mike and Katie would both roll a d6 and divide the result in half, please.
I lost 2. And I have lost a total of 6 today.
2.
Which is half what I need to go squirrely.
And that puts my total loss today at 10.
10.
Ooh.
Hannah, what a bad day.
What's your threshold?
11.
So, just something to look forward to as we go, as we're staring down the barrel of next week, people. When you go insane in Cthulhu, which is going to happen to Katie, we're going to make that happen next week. I promise. I promise you, chat. Katie will get to roleplay an insane person next week. If I have anything to say about it.
Same old.
You do get, you do start to perceive the world differently. Like in Excelsior, Ellie was convinced that her mere presence was causing people to die. But in Pulp Cthulhu, you start to unlock things called insane talents, which are basically superpowers.
They're awesome. And
the cost is being closer to becoming an NPC in the game. So, we'll look forward to seeing how all of this shakes out. We have a hard stop time tonight, guys, and before we get started with anything else, I think it's probably best just go ahead and call it here. Now, we're a few sessions in to Cthulhu here, so I'm gonna make this promise to the players here. You are not in a position of safety starting the next session. However, we have gone long enough that Rob is not interested in making you go any longer without having the investigator development phase. I think it's about time you start accruing the opportunity to improve more things when you continually succeed at things, especially since the same roles are coming up all over. So next week, let's talk about y'all going to have an investigator development phase, and we'll push that on down the line for your second one a little bit later on. And maybe we'll have it at a more rules-appropriate point in the story when we do it the second time. If I doubt anyone has a problem with that, but we're all good with that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, let me level up in the middle of a fight. That's it.
I might even make a little video about how it works.
I do look forward to your videos.
Actually, to be honest, I didn't work a whole lot of different things, but I have a couple of them I can whirl on.
Oh, there you go. We've
Several.
that is something that happens with Cthulhu. If you just play to your strengths, you don't really roll that many dice. You know, when you are a hammer, the whole world looks like a nail, right? So, and you know that applies to more than just violence and whatnot. But Cthulhu definitely gives you the opportunity to kind of do that. If you only ever want to roll one thing, you can get through the game in that. It might go in a very linear direction, but you can get through the game just doing the one thing. Let's find someone to raid. Let's get announcements from people. Katie, when are you live next? What are you doing?
I'll be like usual, playing some more scary games, I assume. I'm going to do my best to optimize my stream this week so I can actually finish up Dead Space. So I think I found a way for it to not crash my system, but I have to do some work on that first.
Excellent. I put a link to Katie's Twitch channel in the chat, so if you want to go drop her a follow, if you aren't following already, most of you probably are. Her streams are much more entertaining than ones that I run, and she gets scared easily, and you can play terrifying sound effects in her chat. It's fun and funny, and watch her react to that.
Yeah.
Mike, you mentioned making cool videos about Cthulhu and other games. I put a link to your channel in there. Could you tell people a little more about what you might find there?
Yeah, mostly my channel, it originally started as something just for me to share information with the guys who've been playing my Pathfinder game for, I don't know, going on 6 or 7 years now. But the last couple of weeks, I've been making some Pulp Cthulhu videos based on some feedback from just conversations we've had in this game. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Pulp, you might find them out there. And otherwise, you can always find me here.
The few things that I know about Pulp Cthulhu are mostly from Mike's videos, so please go watch them if you haven't already.
Nice.
Brian, what are you up to recently? You have a game this week?
Not this week. My Winds of Weird game is turning bi-weekly. I may still stream in the same time slot. I was thinking about taking a look at some older supplements and how to integrate them into 5e, 3.5, whichever game you choose to play. I think I want to look at one called Spell Law from ICE, which was really popular back in the 80s, and has some really cool magic stuff that some people might be interested.
Mike's nodding along like he knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard of it anyway. It's one of the few I haven't played, but yeah, it sounds cool.
It was originally a Middle Earth game, and then they also did Spell Law, Claw Law, Arms Law, a bunch of different kind of universal gaming supplements and it's got some really useful stuff. So
nice. And what time is that? When will you be live?
That will be 6 o'clock Pacific, so 9 o'clock Eastern on Thursday evening.
All right, excellent. I hope I'll be free.
And that's on Misty Mountains.
Cool. That sounds good.
Oh shoot, Katie, I linked the wrong thing. It's Ominous Watermelon on Twitch. If you're in the chat, you're not already following it.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
I'll fix it. I'll fix the command so that it goes to Ominous Watermelon. We're gonna raid Fabled 42 guys. These are friends of Eric Bra, be a longtime friend of the channel, former player, and former Cthulhu player, as a matter of fact, on the channel.
Yep.
Go say hi to those guys, and make them feel welcome, and show them the love that you show us. They're also good. We'll send you on your way in just a moment, but before we go, just in case you don't hear it anywhere else this week, and I sincerely hope that you do, please know that we love you guys. See you next Monday! Looking forward to it.